Oh, we hear you. Oh, I know. Where am I going?
Over here, John.
What? Oh, right over here. Ham bones.
Hemi's not impressed. Shades.
That sunrise, day that's burning my eyes. I stayed up all night, staring at the starry sky.
Never thought we'd be here in a situation like this, but it's wonderful, right? Oh, you got 60.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Henry, what happened?
Sid, thank you. Good afternoon. Welcome to Mount Airy Farms into Asheville. Before we begin, I wanted to recognize those who couldn't be here with us today. A friend Bob Keegan, friend Kevin Patton, Uncle Andre Dickinson, grandparents Paul and Joan Marisi, Bo Brown, and of course Jake and Aaron's loyal dog companion, Cooper Jones. For those who don't know me, I'm Jamie McClammer. I've been Aaron's brother for the last 34 years and Jake's friend for about the last 8. And you know, I didn't get a chance to see Aaron and Jake a lot together since because they've been living in Wilmington and I'm up in Philadelphia. So obviously I was honored when they asked me to serve as their officiant, but I needed to dig up some dirt on them to make this worthwhile. So I had them fill out a fun relationship survey as I was preparing their ceremony. One of the questions was, if you could live anywhere in the world with your fiance, where would it be? Like a lot of their answers, that answer was the same. They filled them out separately, so not together. They didn't know that they were, they didn't know each other's answers. But they both responded that they would love to live near the water, but also in the mountains. And I thought this place works pretty well, and in fact maybe even better because it's an infinity pool, a hot tub, and we're in the mountains. So I think we really nailed it. And to be a little more specific, while Jake answered that he'd like to live near a body of water and in the mountains, Erin's was a little more specific, her answer. She wanted to live in her current neighborhood, but with a big yard, kind of private, near the mountains, fresh lakes, and ocean. Oh, and the place would also have charm and history. Jake, good luck. But I do think this is an idyllic venue, and it's a perfect fit for both Jake and Erin. The mountains are relaxing and full of outdoor activities, not like New Hampshire, not unlike New Hampshire, where both, Erin and Jake originally called home. And the landscape is sprinkled with industrious farms, and the area is known for its down-to-earth, hard-working people that inhabit it. And I think what I admire most about both Aaron and Jake is their hard work and motivation. Their desire to grow both professionally and personally, balanced with the relaxed, fun vibe they bring to any setting. In the move to Wilmington, Jake switched from climbing trees to chasing pipes and is working towards becoming a licensed plumber. Aaron went from cleaning homes and offices to running a cleaning business and then becoming the office administrator for her chiropractic office. Indeed, Aaron is still dragging Jake around to help her clean houses to earn extra income. But luckily, as a plumber, as I mentioned, I think Jake is well equipped to take Aaron's shit. But it's this desire to grow and to explore the world that made Aaron and Jake move to Wilmington, North Carolina, where they didn't know a single person. And it's their relaxed, fun vibe, their ability to connect with people from all walks of life that allowed them to quickly make Wilmington their own home. The people they surround themselves with, their friends and family, aren't just in attendance today. They're serving as the officiant, they're in the wedding party, they're members of the band, they're serving as the de facto wedding coordinator, a shuttle driver, making the wedding favors, arranging the flowers, hand drawing signs, organizing the bridal shower. You know you've made real connections with people when they don't just show up, but they really take part. And that's what everyone has done today. Yesterday, as everyone was running around in the thick of getting everything prepared, Aaron and Jake tapped a voicemail on their phone and were busying around the kitchen as they were listening to it on speakerphone. So I'm in the kitchen and can't help but hearing this voicemail, and it's an older man who sounded absolutely crushed that he couldn't be in attendance today. He apologized profusely for missing the wedding, said that he'd be thinking of them and with them in spirit not only today but the entire weekend. He commended them as individuals, talked about their character traits, and as a couple. Hearing his love for Aaron and Jake and the sadness of him not being able to be here almost brought tears in my eyes. And so with trepidation, I asked Aaron and Jake who the voicemail was from. I assumed it was a relative whose voice I didn't immediately recognize, or it was one of Jake's close family members that I hadn't yet met. And when I asked, Aaron responded, "Oh, that's the guy we cleaned houses for back in Wilmington." Those are the types of connections that Aaron and Jake really seem to make with people on that level wherever they go. So as many of you likely know, marriage can be hard work. It's long hours and often entails a sometimes difficult and demanding client. But as I mentioned, Aaron and Jake are hard workers. In the relationship survey that I mentioned, both Aaron and Jake talked about growing together both professionally and personally. And when asked about what they liked in their significant other, they both talked about how hardworking the other person was, how motivated they were. And they've clearly put in the time working on themselves, but also each other. And in fact, if you know my dad and my mom, I'm sure Jake has put in plenty of hard work around my parents' house as well, back in Charlestown, New Hampshire. If you didn't know, my brother Seth, Aaron, and I were raised in a late 1700s farmhouse, heated primarily and by my parents' own choosing a wood stove. So there was always a lot of maintenance to be done and chores to be done. And the manual labor to do that was not only the three of us, me and my two siblings, but any of our friends that ventured to walk down the driveway. Our friends would literally wait for us at the end of the driveway because they knew if they walked down and my parents saw them, they'd be handed a shovel, or they'd be like stacking wood in a matter of minutes. So naturally, my dad was thrilled to have a built-in addition to the family. Particularly because Seth and I had already fled the state to avoid continued inscription into all this manual labor. But when I think of our family home in New Hampshire, I can't picture the house without scaffolding up all around it. And when I think of Jake at the house, I think of him working on the scaffolding. I'm not sure if he's actually ever worked on scaffolding at our house, but that's just how I have to picture it. But like I said, there's always maintenance to be done, whether it's sanding or painting, filling cracks, repairing boards, or replacing slate shingles. But I think it's this constant maintenance, the love and hard work that we pour into our houses that really, help make them homes. And much like the consistent attention and maintenance necessary for a marriage to work, to build and sustain the sense of companionship, trust, intimacy, and family. It's something that you do need to work on every day. When I was looking for a reading for today's ceremony, Aaron and Jake didn't want anything too cheesy, too long, too religious, so I found a poem about scaffolding, which is by the Irish poet Seamus Heaney. Masons, when they start upon a building, are careful to test out the scaffolding. Make sure that planks won't slip at busy points, secure all ladders, tighten bolted joints. And yet all this comes down when the job's done, showing off walls of sure and solid stone. So if, my dear, there sometimes seems to be old bridges breaking between you and me, never fear, we may let the scaffolds fall, confident that we have built our wall.
Aw.
And so we're gathered here today to help Aaron and Jake in this endeavor, not only to celebrate their love and their joyous commitment to each other today, but to climb the scaffolding with them and offer our support for all the years to come. So now, Aaron and Jake, if it's your intention to build your wall together and to share each other your laughter and tears that all the years will bring, then it's proper to acknowledge it in the presence of all assembled here today in front of us. And to consider thoughtfully the seriousness of the commitment you're making by your promises to one another that will bind you together as partners for life. But first we'll have two short readings, the first of which is by friend Keith Calder, who's a local Wilmington, who's made his way up to the mountains of Carolina to be with us here today and to do a reading.
She didn't tell me it had to be short. What she said is she needs to be up front a little longer in this incredible dress. I'm not going to block anybody's view with that.
You can stand right here.
I think there's a huge paper on her veil. You see it? It's like in there.
The most read from the Bible, 1 Corinthians chapter 13. If I speak in the tongues of mortals and of angels, but do not have love, I'm a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but I don't have love, I have nothing. If I give away all my possessions, and if I hand over my body so that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. But as for prophecies, they will come to an end. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will come to an end. For we know only in part, and we prophesy only in part. But when the complete comes, the partial will come to an end. When I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became an adult, I put into childish ways. Jake. For now, we see in a mirror dimly, but then we will see face to face. Now that you've known, and now faith, hope, and love abide, these three. The greatest of these is love. That's not it. So I wanted to go into literature. So from Captain Corelli's Mandolin. When you fall in love, it is a temporary madness. It erupts like an earthquake, and then it subsides. And when it subsides, you have to make a decision. You have to work out whether your roots are to become so entwined together that it is inconceivable that you should ever part. Because that is what love is. Love is not breathlessness. It is not excitement. It is not the desire to mate every second of the day. It is not lying awake at night imagining that he is kissing every part of your body. No, don't blush. I'm telling you some truths. For that is just being in love. which any of us can convince ourselves we are. Love itself is what is left over. When being in love has burned away, nothing sounds very exciting, does it? But it is. George Eliot wrote, "What greater thing is there for two human souls than to feel that they are joined for life, to strengthen each other in all labor, to rest on each other in all sorrow, to minister to each other in all pain, to be one with each other in silent, unspeakable memories, the moment of the last parting." Leonid Tolstoy wrote in Anna Karenina, this is for you, Jake. He stepped down, trying not to look at her like the sun. But he saw her like the sun, even without looking. Nicholas Sparks for you. I'm nothing special, just a common man with common thoughts, and I have led a common life. But there are no monuments dedicated to me, and my name will soon be forgotten. But in one respect, I have succeeded as gloriously as anyone who's ever lived. I've loved another with my whole heart and soul, and to me, this has always been enough. You know what you two mean to me. You took this old man in on Gibson Avenue, and it has developed into one of the most beautiful friendships I've ever had. When you give something up of yourself, you're giving it to the other, and it's okay. When you take something away from the other, you're giving something up of yourself, and it's okay. Bless you, and I can't wait for the next 50 years. I might not be around for all of them. Jake and Aaron.
That was very nice.
Of our second reading, the infamous Auntie Hastings, who I'll add survived
You got
a
this,
2-day,
Auntie.
8-person van ride next to Brody. With a seatbelt for the majority of the ride. She'll be reading an original work.
Okay. Hi, McVees. Hello. I'm honored that you asked me to share some words on your special day. I'm no marriage expert by any means, but I'm going to share with you some things that might help on your life journey. These are in no particular order. So I used to believe you should never go to bed angry, but I've learned that that's not true. If you're button heads, it's getting late, just kiss goodnight, sleep on it. A new day will give you new perspective. Remember, you don't belong to each other, but you belong with each other, and you're together by choice. You know you found the one when they can make you feel the same way that music can. Continue to chase your dreams and encourage each other to chase theirs too. Years from now, perhaps a size or two larger, gray hair, balding, smelling like Ben Gay. Remember how you feel about each other on this day. Praise each other in public, save the reprimanding for in private. Listen to each other attentively. Don't wait for a special occasion to show appreciation. Do your just because things unexpectedly. It's self-destructing to hold a grudge, and for goodness sake, learn something from your arguments. Understand that being together is a gift. Respect is always such a big thing and encompasses so much. Always trust and respect each other's feelings, opinions, point of view, and decisions. And remember to say, I love you every day. And I love you guys.
So Aaron and Jake have written with their own vows, which they'll now share with each other. First, Jake.
I'll go first. Aaron Kathleen McClaren, I don't know how many times in our relationship I've told you that I just love you more than words can back on it now, I think that's probably just an easy cop out that I didn't have to do a big long explanation of how much I love you and why I love you. But it's one of those things where, excuse me. But I would say if there was a better time, the time is now to tell you how much happiness and laughter, stability and love you brought into my life and the lives of our dogs when we immediately made part of the family and treated us as you had them since puppies. That love alone showed me how much I do truly appreciate you and how much of a person you are that I wanted to be with. How fortunate I am for that. I have a companion that is into the same activities, music, food. I mean, hell, you're into the same people I'm into. You have a great group of friends. So on this day, I promise you to be your navigator, your sidekick in all of our life's adventures. I promise to be your best friend and your husband. I promise to give you myself completely, to be there when you need me, and a shoulder to lean on and a hand to hold. So from this day forward, I vow to make the most of every moment we share together and look forward to forever improving ourselves and our lives as one.
Mine's a little bit longer. I tried to shorten it. Can I go? Jake, these past 8 years have shown us that we are able to overcome any obstacles. We have uprooted our lives from our small country town and have built a unique and fulfilling life together. I know we're fully prepared to put in the hard work of a marriage requires. We built a family, a life, a team. We may not always speak each other's love languages, but we always try. You've shown me love at times when I didn't love myself. Your steadfast loyalty provides me a continuous state of peace even on our most challenging days. The depths of your love are so that it inspires to love more deeply. You're a genuine, kind soul that anything with a heartbeat is respected, minus the folks that overcrowd you at the grocery store. If our family grew with little hands and feet instead of paws, I know strongly you will be the most selfless and loving father. The idea of it excites me. And what an added bonus it is to have a strikingly handsome husband.
Oh.
I vow to always work on communication, even in times of frustration. I vow to be your support in times of weakness and your biggest fan in times of victory. I vow to remain loyal and faithful and continue to build off of the foundation we have created. I truly am looking forward to where married life is going to take us. I love you, Jacob Arthur, the end. Can I give you my pinky?
She needs it now.
Aaron and Jake, you have declared your intention to make this venture of love, realizing that from this day forward, your path will be woven of one design and your challenges and joys will be shared together. Today you are making public before family and friends that the words, "I love you," are a full commitment of yourselves to each other. Aaron, do you take Jake to be your husband and partner to love, honor, comfort, and cherish from this day forward?
I do.
Jake, do you take Aaron to be your wife and partner to love, honor, comfort, and cherish from this day forward? The rings you hold
So little.
The rings you hold will serve as a reminder of your love and commitment to one another. As you wear them through time, it will reflect not only who you are, but also what you have created together. Aaron, repeat after me. I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a symbol of my love
as a symbol of my love
and as a constant reminder
and as a constant reminder
of my love and devotion to you
of my love and devotion to you
for all the days of our lives.
for all the days of our lives.
Jake, repeat after me. I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a symbol of my love
as a symbol of my love
and as a constant reminder
and as a constant reminder
of my love and devotion to you
of my love and devotion to you
for all the days of our lives.
For all the days of our lives.
Aaron and Jake, because you have pledged your love and commitment to each other before these witnesses and chosen to share your lives together, it gives me great joy to now pronounce you husband and wife. Jake, you may kiss your bride.
Man, that was good timing.
Would you all please rise? I'm thrilled to introduce to you for the very first time, Mr. and Mrs. Jake and Aaron Vienne.
Hey! I love you guys.